Hello, dear friends. We are glad to welcome you back to Alatra Middle East. And today we are going to ask a social entrepreneur, an innovator, an influential speaker, and an ambassador to the state of the African diaspora about how he envisions the creative society. We also are going to talk about topics such as uniting technologies, educational system, and of course, we will talk about the foundations of the creative society. It is my pleasure to welcome our special guest from Nigeria, Mr. Collins Nabugu. Hi, Collins. How are you?
Hello, Anastasia. Good to be here.
We are
Good
so glad
morning
to
from
have
Lagos,
you.
Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you for joining our conversation. We are so glad to have you with us today. And my co-host today is a beautiful Valeria. Hello, Valeria.
Hi everyone. Hi Collins. Hi Anastasia. I'm really glad to be here today with you. And also, before we move on, I would like to address our viewers. So, if you join us recently and have never heard about Creative Society Project, I'll give you a brief explanation. So Creative Society is a unique project, has been launched on the platform of Alatra International Public Movement. People from more than 180 countries conduct numerous social surveys, interesting interviews, and just like conversation, just like we have today, in order to find out how people envision the society where everyone is happy, lives prosperously and feels safe, and whether they want to live in the creative society. And dear viewers, please feel free to leave your comments and questions in live chat on YouTube. And probably the most interesting we can read in the end of our broadcast.
Yes, we will do that with pleasure. And by the way, throughout this project, we are also testing the theory of six handshakes, according to which all people in the world are connected or know each other through six or even less connections. So I think specifically thanks to this theory, we are able to talk to our special guest, Collins Nabugo, today. Collins, could you please describe in a few words for our viewers what exactly are you doing in life? Please share your story and what exactly brought you to the point where you are right now, and also what inspires you and what drives you in life.
Thank you. Absolutely. I thank you for this awesome opportunity to express myself and, of course, to talk to young people all around the world. I mean, I'm just a young global citizen who believes in hard work and creativity and to be able to contribute to society in one's own little way. So, well, I started my journey as, of course, from the foundations of education as a science student, and I graduated in chemistry. And after that, I ventured into mass communication because I also thought about how you can use information to actually impact the people. So mass communication is my forte. And from doing mass communication, I also trained as a technology enthusiast into fourth industrial revolution. And with that knowledge, I'm able to develop a curriculum to help drive Africa's development through education and basically education technology. So today, I am the CEO of an e-learning platform training young people in the fourth industrial revolution using ICT and STME. And that education institution is called Cyber Future Academy. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much, Collins. Also, I want to ask you some question because we know that actually you're also working of Uniting Diasporas, right? So can you tell me, please, and our viewers, what do you think? Why it is really important to unite people, like just in general? Why do we need to do this? And what could be like some positive points about this? And probably what's the power of uniting people?
Absolutely. The history of the African diaspora is a very significant one and one that cannot be forgotten in a hurry. Here you're discussing over 400 years of the transatlantic slave trade. And that history is one of the biggest injustices, human injustices in history today. And 400 years later, we start to, to create that narrative and to promote that narrative that the Africans at home on the motherland, the continent of Africa, need the unification. There has to be a unifying a frontier between the Africans at home and those in the diaspora, because they are the children, they are the offspring of the descendants of African slaves or enslaved men who were bundled against their wish in Africa to the Americas, to the rest of the world. And so for over a couple of centuries, there has been that disconnect between these people. And right now, we are saying that there has to be a recognition. There has to be a unifying front between Africans at home and in the diaspora, because it's only a spiritual, it has a spiritual significance. It has an emotional significance, because everywhere today you see a black man, you know that the origin must have been from Africa. But what about the injustices surrounding that process? So that's what we're preaching. That we are saying that Africans at home also need development and contribution in their development from the diasporans, because they are one and the same.
Of course, absolutely, Collins. And I admire your passion about working to unite all people, all African people. So I think the question that I'm going to ask you now is going to be very important for you all. How do you envision the creative society, a society where each and everyone can live happily, comfortably in all aspects of life, and the world without violence, the world without slavery, without wars? And what kind of values must be there in such a creative society, in your opinion?
Yes, creativity is what drives society. You could see in our cultures and traditions that creativity is the bedrock of most cultures and traditions. Even in sports, it's about creativity. In music, entertainment, it's about creativity. And these are cultures that have outlived, transcended rather, generations. And therefore, creativity should be celebrated, should be promoted, in all forms of it. And lately, in this 21st century, you have a new sort of creativity, which is a paradigm shift from the traditional way of being creative to the computer-driven, internet-driven, cloud-driven creativity. And that has to be encouraged. In my own generation, the millennial generation, you could see creativity, gone to another level. I mean, I could use myself for instance. Today I'm able to create companies and businesses around concepts that were not existent before, or where they existed, it was the exclusive right of multilaterals or intergovernmental agencies. For instance, in the month of February 2020, this year, when the coronavirus had just started, with the Wuhan being the only epicenter of the coronavirus, we went into, by creativity, we were able to provide intervention services for well over 5,000 African students who were trapped in that lockdown, in the very first lockdown in February. Well, this is basically a task or an effort that could only be possible by the Red Cross Society, by the International Red Cross Society, or other multilaterals just about a decade ago. But today, because of technology and advancement in technology and the fourth industrial revolution, organizations as little as mine would be able to carry out such efforts because of the creativity that is propelled by technology. So yes, creativity must be encouraged, because it is through creativity that confidence can be reposed, and younger people, younger leaders such as myself, who are only beginning to step on the scene, can be encouraged and inspired to even take on more tasks when their creativity or their concepts are encouraged, such as mine. I'm able to speak to you confidently now because some of my efforts have actually materialized into reality. And so I can prove that these are new ways, there are new ways, exceptionally, there are new ways and multiple new ways that creativity, can be encouraged. And that has to happen all the time.
Yeah, and what about the values? What do you think about the values in such a creative society? What is supposed to
The,
be?
va- the values are enormous. The values are enormous and must be celebrated. For instance, the value of hard work and creativity, just as I described, are more important and should even be more celebrated than the negative values. Even though the negative values, for instance, you are in UAE, right? You are in Dubai. Few days ago, or a couple of days ago, I mean, this is still an ongoing process. You have some African or some Nigerian guys who have been involved in fraudulent activity. Are you aware? In Dubai.
I haven't heard about this news.
His name is Hush Puppy. If you Google Hush Puppy, you'll find out about that. So he's been living in Dubai and doing some illegal business and making illegal, income. And then he got into the law. But all over the world, in the USA especially, where the Interpol got him. And so there's a big news about it. And that is celebrating the wrong values because he was there doing the wrong things. And now the media is talking about him. That's placing the wrong value.
What's the positive point? What's the positive values you can name? Like you would like to have. I mean, you would like to see in such a like in future, if we will just imagine this creative society, what's the positive points? Values. Yeah, you would like to see.
The positive value is, having young leaders like myself and yourself who are doing these great things and inspiring society, inspiring even young leadership, leadership in the young generation rather, to be celebrated, to be the talk of town rather than having the negative values. For instance, through my organization OLSD, we have just launched a mega concern, a mega concert actually, is a campaign called the Kick Out COVID Africa. The Kick Out COVID Africa campaign is a strategic and technical concept to galvanize the efforts of musicians, celebrities, movie actors, athletes, social media influencers across Africa. It's a coalition of 15 other youth-led organizations who are in Africa promoting e-learning, for instance, promoting medical volunteerism, promoting mobile applications that can be used for contact tracing and helping the Africa CDC and other public health professionals in the fight against COVID-19, not only on the medical front, not only on the health front, but on the socioeconomic front, because the young people of Africa, which make up 60%, almost 60% of the population, making it the youngest region in the world, the young people are the ones who are mostly devastated because one, they were not ready. They were not set to face the devastating effect of COVID-19, all because their government were not ready to provide those basic amenities for them. Again, there was no technology to drive these solutions that are already available for people in Europe, in America, and in the Western world. But the African child is bedeviled with these challenges, and therefore coming up or rather designing African-made solutions is the right value to promote. And I am doing that. So Kick Out COVID campaign is one that has launched just 2 days ago, and we are taking it to the top in galvanizing efforts among the young people to promote a revitalization of culture and tourism, entertainment, because we know that the musicians cannot sing anymore. They are not in the theaters those that used to act, and the footballers and athletes cannot go back on track to run. Therefore, their businesses have also been disrupted. Apart from the health, Africa is having more devastating on our socioeconomic front than on the health front. That's the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Collins. Yeah, actually, everything what you were saying and what you are doing, actually, I think that you probably you're talking about helping and kindness, right? That's one of the great points should be in a creative society. Okay, and also I would like to say that in order to build such a society, like creative society, a world in which every person will feel comfortable, we should be united by one goal. Dear viewers, the basis of our goals are the 8 foundations that are described in the article, the foundations of the creative society and the stages of its constructions, published on the 18th of May 2020 on the website alachaunites.com. You can see them on the screen actually now. Yeah. So the first one, human life. The second one, human freedom. The third one, human safety. The first one, transparency and openness of information for all. The fifth one, the creative ideology. The sixth one, development of personality. The seventh one, justice and equality. And the eighth one, self-governing society.
Yes, and dear Collins, I would like to read now the third foundation, which is human safety. So the foundation number 3, human safety, is no one and nothing in society has the right to create threats to the life and freedom of a human. Every human is guaranteed free provision of essential life necessities, including food, housing, medical care, education, and full social security. Scientific, industrial, and technological activities of the society should be aimed exclusively at improving the quality of human life, guaranteed economic stability, no inflation and crisis, stable and same prices around the world.
Yeah, and also there we were talking about the technologies, right? So that's actually Collins was saying, yeah, he was saying about a lot about technologies. So we have some question to you. Probably you can answer, yeah. In your opinion, actually, what do you think about this foundation, yeah? And how can these technologies can serve for people?
How can the technologies do what, please?
Serve for people. I mean, like to be very useful, right, for people. How these technologies, like how can we use technology in a great way for people?
Yes, technology. Well, is technology is here to aid, to aid and support the human intellect and human ability and human effort. That's what technology should be. And so, utilizing technology in the right way, it should be a technology that will help to solve problems in the society. So, for instance, in Africa, where I am, technology is helping the people with communication, for instance, basically. Like what we're doing now, this is mobile. I'm on the mobile, that's why it's not all that perfect right now. Because, yeah. So, for instance, I want to talk about mobile technologies helping Africa's young people with communication, such as like the Zoom call we're doing now. You have people broadcasting on social media and all. So if I could reach 1,000 people 5 years ago, now I could reach 1 million people. That's how exponential the growth of technology and how it's helping, the people in a good way. Technology is helping, and then mobile technology, it's very powerful.
Yeah, and today we can have this live broadcast and we can connect and talk to each other and create so many platforms to speak out about some things. Yeah, totally agree with you. Okay,
absolutely.
and also
Absolutely, and it also makes it even less expensive for the people to afford. It's more affordable. I'm very sure 10 years ago, for you and I to be in UAE and Nigeria to have this interview, it was going to cost us maybe $500,000, and you're probably going to be CNN or BBC who will be able to conduct such an operation. But right now, these things are almost free of charge, and connecting people, getting cultures, intercultural connection, connectivity, and education. Now we can share so much from my living room and from your library and from everywhere around the world. So that's really a good way of utilizing technology. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right. And also, it is really interesting to ask you one more question about the education actually system. And I would like to talk about the sixth foundation. It is a development of personality. In this foundation said that every person in the creative society has the right of comprehensive and development and personal fulfillment. Education should be free and equally accessible to all, creating conditions and expanding opportunities for a human to implement his or her creative abilities and talents. And Collins, what do you think about this foundation, and how do you see the system of education in a creative society, the system of education of our future?
Education has a long history of starting from the family. So when you say foundation, it all goes back to the family. And so from the family, the nuclear family, education transcends all the way to old age. So education should be something affordable and free, if possible, for everyone. But we know that in the public sector and public space, the government is the custodian of civil society. And so education has been left in the hands of the government. In Africa, though, there is a classic paradigm where we know in my place that education was previously in the hands of the missionary, and the Christian missionary were the ones who were in charge of education, and they did great job in enforcing quality education for many years until mission schools were withdrawn or retrieved back by the government. And that is the order of the day as we speak. And education being in the hands of the government, African regimes have not been very consistent with enforcing quality education because, you have a strong history of inconsistency and sometimes misappropriation, of education quotas. But that's in principle. In reality, education should be very affordable, and Africans are ready and willing to learn, to study. That's why the African society is very flexible with other cultures. You see, my name is Collins, which is an English name. That is to tell, and many others in Africa or across Nigeria also bear foreign names, meaning that we accept other cultures, even including adopting their names. You see, meaning that Africa is very teachable. Learning, there are people that like to learn about other cultures, and where they seem it good and fit, they adopt those cultures. That could already tell you. So yes, there's great need for more quality education, like the United Nations is proposing the UN SDGs. SDGs number 4 is quality education, and that has to happen. But then there is a big gap, capacity gap in the delivery of education. In Africa, many more children have no access to quality education, and that has to be taken care of. Which is the reason why I went into ed tech, education technology, at a basic need in the society. Mark Zuckerberg was trained in the school. The Jeff Bezos, the every big everyone who has been successful today owes that success to education. And so I created and designed the Cyber Future Academy in a way to deliver fourth industrial revolution training to the young people of Africa as a great need and challenge that is already available right now. And we are filling that gap through that platform. the Cyber Future Academy. Thank you.
That's amazing. It's a great mission, Collins. I applaud you. And we also would like to ask you about the media, the social media, the TV channels, radio stations, and so on. So we know that you have been working in this field before. So what do you think about the information in this foundation number 4, which is transparency and openness of the information to all?
Absolutely. I like to take it from a very practical angle and perspective. Practical in the sense that an experiential person. I like to talk about my personal experience. I actually started my career in media, like I told you. I done radio, TV, news, all that. So I understand when you call the media the fourth realm, it has a very big significance. And when you also say that the media holds the heartstring of the people, the pulse of the society, you are absolutely correct. And how media can be used in social engineering, it's very important. And I tell people also that it's important that the media is balanced. And it's also very important that policymakers, stakeholders, and government also understand the evolutionary form of the media. The media is not static, it's evolutionary. The fact that now you have multiple channels is also more reason why the government should also have multiple policies and multiple stakeholders and gatekeepers trying to, police information dissemination. Let's go practical. In 2001, on 9/11, the world was devastated. We could see those footages only from the traditional media, or rather electronic media, which was TV, basically TV, not even the radio. So you had a couple of giants, BBC, CNN. You don't even have Al Jazeera at that time. So most of the things we heard was from those channels. But in 2009 or 2019, then you have a Hong Kong, 2018, 2008. You have a Hong Kong who's on the radar right now. And we could see Hong Kong from multiple channels, from Facebook, from just the mobile camera, you see. And then in 2020, we are seeing Beijing on the mobile phones. We couldn't see Beijing for a long time, for many years. There was the Great Firewall of China that wouldn't let even a Netflix to get into China and sell records and sell movies there. Wouldn't even let a Mark Zuckerberg to take his Facebook, to China, because they don't want that information from that company to be in China. But here you are in 2020 as a result of the coronavirus. Some young people from Africa who were on the streets for certain reasons. You all are aware of all this. And so the phone cameras are even bigger news channels than the big giants. That's the paradigm shift. And so it calls for a lot of attention. And now China is struggling to say, oh, we are not racist. But then the news is already out there from a phone camera. And then you go to America, and then there's the Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd, from a phone camera. Think about it. If there were no phone cameras, no mobile technology in 2020, we probably wouldn't have seen the George Floyd incident, but it was taped on camera. And that incident was stronger than all the movies, all the Hollywood movies that Tyler Perry and his friends had done in all the years in Hollywood, talking about all the blacks' injustice in America. We've seen that in the movies. Tupac, Michael Jackson, everyone has talked about it. Even the CNN talked about it sparingly. But those were not powerful enough than a phone camera. So you see, the media is very important, understanding that even you are the media, even I am the media, even everyone is the media. And so we start to respect everyone's perspective, that everyone has got a story to tell, no matter where they're telling the story from, no matter the size of their audience. What mattered actually was not the size of their audience, but the value and the capacity of the action that has happened. In George Floyd case, it was one man dying, but because of the sight and the sound, get off my knee, get off my neck, I can't breathe. And what we saw happen next, those actions were more powerful than the name of a TV station or the name of anybody. So capturing every situation and every action with respect, knowing that everyone's opinion count, and no matter what shift, for justice to take place. So for equitable distribution of information, we must respect everyone as a media outlet, and everyone can change. Are you there, Anastasia?
Yeah. Actually, I like your points that totally agree with you that we have more power than we think, and actually, yeah, we all like a media.
Okay.
So we have to start from from ourselves, and we need to understand what we are going to spread actually around the world. And yeah, okay. And Collins, we also would like to ask you, what do you think, what is the best way to inform people about such initiative as a creative society project? What is like the best way to do it?
The best way to inform the people about creative society?
Yeah, how we can spread this idea? What can we do for that?
Yes, it's you have to identify the demographic target that you're dealing with. For me, I work with young people, and I also work with people in business. So I create my channels and my content based on my target. So because I'm working with young people, I have to create projects and concepts that address the needs of the young people. And so I create them around the needs of the young people so they can drive it.
Mm-hmm. Collins, thank you so much for being today with us. We enjoyed the conversation. I think we touched very important subjects. And we have the last question for you is, would you like to live in a creative society?
That's not a question, it's an answer. I am already living there and I would not move 1 inch from here. Thank you.
Awesome. It was a great pleasure
Yes.
talking to you today. Thank you once again for being here with us. And dear friends, if you would like to join the creative projects of the ALLATRA International Public Movement, please go to our website, allatraunite.com, and click the join button, which is in a red color. What you will need to do is just to fill out a very simple and short form, and you can join our project. And also, if you or your friends, your family members would like to participate in these live conversations like this one, then please send an email to uae@allatraunite.com. And if for any reason you are not able to join the video conversation, you can always participate in our ALLATRA radio conversations, or you can send your creative ideas and share them with us. For that, please send email to info@allatraunite.com.
Yeah, and share your broadcast in your social networks using 2 hashtags, Creative Society and ALLATRA Unites. Leave your comments below and also join the 6 Handshakes initiative. After all, the more people find out about the possibility of creating creative society, the faster we can begin to implement it. Thank you all very much and see you soon on ALLATRA Middle East.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Bye.